Hello, and thank you for joining me here on my channel, Spirit Rodeo. Today, I'm going to share with you what I have learned to be my spiritual gifts, or intuitive abilities, or psychic abilities, or whatever you choose to call them. I have been able to receive many spiritual or psychic messages largely through dreams over the course of my life. Since I was a child, that has probably been my most active spiritual gift. And as I've grown older, I'm better able to use my ability of claircognizance, which is clear knowing. I get more intuitive downloads that just kind of enter my mind through my thoughts. And so I just wanted to share with you what I understand to be some of my abilities at this point. And I do believe that your abilities can evolve, or you can develop new abilities over time. So, as I've found was the case for many people, the onset of the pandemic was a very explosive time for me in the growth of my abilities, and even the time shortly before the pandemic hit in 2020. I recall that in 2019, I had a dream about the pandemic, but I didn't know that I was dreaming about the pandemic. I had never imagined such a thing, and so when I saw it, I didn't understand what I was seeing. And so maybe a little less than a year after I had that dream, the pandemic hit. And so I might get into that dream one day and describing it, but I basically was able to understand that there was a lot of chaos going around major cities, that hospitals would be inaccessible in some ways or overfilled. I saw that what I would call elite individuals were involved in influencing the chain of events and benefiting from it as well. And so I started really trusting the insight that I got from dreams in these past few years. I recall that one of the things that I would dream about a lot was babies. People in my family or people that I knew, I would have dreams about their babies before their babies were born. Or if they weren't even pregnant yet, I would know that they were going to have a child through my dreams. I've had dreams of deceased family members, dreams of the future, just all kinds of dreams. I mean, my dreams have evolved so much even in this past year. I've come to see maybe what things exist or beings exist in other dimensions through my dreams and visions at times. And so sometimes it's great to have such insight, and sometimes it's a little bit overwhelming. But what I'm going to do first is jump into, I'm going to read out to you a reading that I had done by an intuitive reader that I've trusted over the past couple of years. And I asked her, what are my intuitive or spiritual gifts? So I'm going to pull that up. So I got this insight back in June of 2021, and I explained to the intuitive reader or psychic that I have a spiritual gift that I'm aware of, that I can see the future through dreams. I've even had dreams of the past and present of other people's lives, and many times I don't have a way to prove or test that they're true. If there is any insight you have into my dream abilities, please share. I recently started reading tarot and oracle cards. If you see that I have any stronger gifting in this, please let me know. And can you share what you can see regarding me and abilities to heal others? So she explained that what I have with dreams is called precognitive dreaming. That is, dreaming of things to come. So I have the gift of precognition. Since it is something that you see, the actual psychic ability is called clairvoyance, which means clear seeing, and that would encompass things in the past, present, or the future. From your previous readings or the readings she's given me before this point in time, she says, I have picked up that you have a bit of mediumship. Excuse me, I need water. Okay, back to what I was explaining. Since it's something that you see, the actual psychic ability is called clairvoyance, which means clear seeing, and that would encompass seeing things in the past, present, or the future. From your previous readings, I have picked up that you have a bit of mediumship in you. That is the ability to sense spirits. And I'm not sure if you are strong enough to communicate with them, but I do feel that you can feel them. So if you were to go into an old building and there were spirits there, you might feel chills, or just get this weird tingly vibe and feel a little different, like you would sense something that was there. And I don't mean if you were in some spooky looking place. It could be all cleaned up and full of people. You would still feel it. So you actually do have an ability to heal others, and that has to do with your aura. Your aura is pink, and that is one of the colors where it makes you a natural healer. It's related to the heart chakra, and you naturally soothe people, which takes away anxiety and therefore pain. It doesn't heal illness, but it provides comfort. So just a smile, a touch on the hand, or being in the same room with someone makes them feel better. There is not really a particular psychic gift name for this other than natural healer. You can, however, learn the ability of how to harness your energy and do things like energy healing, distance healing, and Reiki. You do have to learn and practice these things, but they will come quite natural for you. So with your ability of clairvoyance, clear seeing, you are able to see visions. So far, you have seen them in dreams, but you can learn to see them during your waking state if you meditate on this. To practice, literally focus on any item you want, anything, an unlit candle, then visualize it lighting up, burning, then getting blown out. Visualize scenarios like that for all kinds of things. Eventually, you will be able to get visions of the future while you're awake. With tarot reading, learn how to harness that energy you have in your hands to intuitively pick cards. Don't just shuffle and pull from the top. Fan them out and let your hand get drawn to one. Your hands are energy. Of course, you always use the cards that fly out when you are shuffling. Never ignore those cards. Need some more water, just 1 second. So that was what one particular reader could see about my spiritual gifts. And one thing to understand is that just because you're psychic doesn't mean you see all things or that you understand all of the things that you see. And each person's intuitive or psychic abilities are different. So you can ask the same intuitive person, or you can ask different intuitive people the same question, and they will all respond differently, even though they might be able to see overlapping or similar things. So in December of 2021, I had a bit of spiritual or soul level healing through what is called a soul retrieval. And so during this time, I was trying to make sense of some of the things in my life and understand myself better and understand my spiritual abilities. And so in working with this particular healing facilitator or soul retrieval facilitator, I asked her to help me to better understand what my spiritual gifts are. She shared a lot of things with me about what I need to continue working on in my own healing, and energy protection of myself, and just learning how to, I guess, energetic hygiene, energetic maintenance. And so the message I got from her was mixed with, this is some things you need to work on for yourself, and then this is what I see in your future and how you will deal with others in your spiritual gifts, as well as some insight she had into what my current abilities are. So I asked her, what are my spiritual gifts and how do I best use them? And so I'm going to skim through this because it's a lot, and some of it is just personal. So she said that she sees that in the future I will be a healer, helping people to heal. Most people deal with energetic cording, not being able to control their energy, and out of balance chakras, as well as entity attachments. And so I'm going to be able to help people in some of those ways in dealing with those types of things. As far as my spiritual gifts, she sees that I have a special ability to connect to the ethers. She said that she doesn't see me using these skills in mediumship and talking to people on the other side so much, because she didn't feel that that was what interested me most. And this is true. I do have the ability to tap into the other side, but honestly, it's something that still kind of weirds me out. I'm not extremely comfortable with it, but I've become a bit more comfortable with it over the past year. It is fascinating though. I must admit to that, but in the realm of spiritual gifts, at this point, I don't see it being what is most fascinating to me. So she said, I see you using information from the ethers, from God, spirit, source, etc., to help people to balance their energy fields. She said, I'm also seeing a church. I'm not sure if you're religious or not, but I feel that you may find some clientele through a church or another community gathering around something spiritual. It feels like people in the Christian community don't always know how to protect their energy or balance it, because when they look for answers, it's all clouded in New Age fluff, and I don't know if most Christians agree with New Age ideas. You also seem to be sort of tuned into the darker side of spirituality, not just love and light, because this is how you will help people heal. I'm seeing a balance of energies with a masculine and feminine, but a balance between both these energies within individuals. You may have a very accurate sense of the state of someone's internal energies without even realizing it. For example, many empaths and psychics assume being able to feel other people's emotions is normal or a common experience, and they don't realize it isn't until later on in life. So, additionally, I'm an empath. She goes on to say, another aspect I am picking up is that you are also tuned into what energies belong to someone and what is an energy that someone else projected onto them. For example, if someone has been abused, you will be able to pick up the energy or soul pieces of the abuser in their energy field, and you will be able to send those pieces away. So I can, at this point in time, pick up in some instances, like entity attachments and possibly energy or soul pieces on people. I don't often see them on people when I'm looking at them in person, but at times I can see them, like if I am watching videos, especially through social media. Somehow when I look at that, I can see that the camera is able to pick up on some spiritual or soul level things that I can see. And I can sometimes see entities attached to people, and it presents kind of as like an overlay over their face mostly, or other parts of their body at times, sometimes their hands. So I just always thought that was a part of like entity attachment alone, or maybe negative entities being attached to people. But I learned from this particular healing facilitator that sometimes I might be seeing energy or soul pieces that have been projected onto people. So I don't know how to differentiate the two at this point in time. So I think that's all I was going to share from that particular reading. But I've also learned that I am a generational curse breaker in my family line. This is something I think I came into understanding, I really don't know when, maybe in the past couple of years, like everything, so many other things I've realized spiritually, but I had this really insightful, revelational type of conversation with someone who I encountered in a room on the Clubhouse app in which a talk was hosted, and I spoke up and responded to the topic and my experience with it. And so someone connected with me there and shared some intuitive information that she was able to tap into about me. And one of the things that she said, out of the many things that she said, was that I am a generational curse breaker in my family line. And that was very moving to me, and it was something that I had already understood, but it was definitely confirmation coming from her. And I've had some instances where I'm aware of some of the dysfunctions in my family, and I sometimes get downloads about what's going on with people in my family, or I'll have dreams about them. But I do feel like through my life and my spiritual awareness, and through my marriage, and just through my life choices and the people I'm connected to, I was meant to positively affect the trajectory of my family lineage and their path here in the world. And so that feels really good, but it also feels like a big responsibility at the same time. But somehow I've known this about myself for so long. I just had never put it into words or heard anyone else say it. So it was very reaffirming to hear. So I think I'll stop there. And if you find that you are developing in your spiritual abilities, I encourage you to keep seeking and evolving and seeking the truth. And I feel like the spiritual path is one in which you really have to deal with yourself. You have to be willing to see yourself. You have to be willing to evolve and to do shadow work. It's a journey of growth for sure. And it's a beautiful one. And I feel like it's a path it can be a path that leads to joy and a more full life and a fuller understanding of what life really means. So I thank you so much for listening to what I have to say, this piece of who I am. And I hope that this message is well received, and that if you recognize any similar gifts inside of yourself, I just encourage you to keep growing. Or even if you have a different set of gifts, keep growing in that. And I hope that you can join me next time.